Well, we had max pain pretty quickly today. What I didn't want to have happen was another red day, but we had it. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Hey, fellow traders, it's Black Coffee Trader. It is the unlucky, I think, Friday the 13th. And yeah, today was just a short and sweet, take it to the chin kind of day. Started off on ES. Well, let's back up a little bit here. Basically down 500 across each funded account. Not happy about that. I'm really upset at myself for the last trade. I was starting to get a little frustrated, and I'm trying not to do that, but I just couldn't catch a winner. It was just one of those days where I was just wrong. And you know, you have those days where it just seems like every time you enter, the market does something different. And that's kind of how today felt. So it just is what it is. It was just a tough day. That's all there is to it. So let's look at TradeZilla. We'll just kind of walk through the trades today, down $3,000. There's a little discrepancy. It's actually 3,014.27. TradeZilla shows 3,012.02. The reason for that is, once again, I had some kind of an issue with my Ninja Trader. What's that called? The trade performance export. This trade performance tab right here, excuse me. It was not populating correctly, so I had to manually enter some of the trades and had to be off by a couple bucks, but I was fine with that. But yeah, no winners today. All losers, averaging $100. And again, just a tough day. I did not want to do this. And sadly, we've gotten three red days that are, you know, 2,500 to $3,000. That's a tough one. Down about 4 on the month now. 4 red days. 3 of them are pretty big. A couple nice green days, but yeah, need some winners. Need some winners. So let's just dive into the trades themselves today. In fact, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I took a couple pre-market trades, which is something I rarely do. This first one was pretty tough. Break and retest of 59.95s in the pre-market. Good setup, just fell apart. Pre-market trade, which I usually don't take those trades typically. That was on ES, so that was actually right here. I was looking for this after this broke out when we were starting to hold this. I was looking for that to continue, and it did after the open, or at the open, actually just prior to the open, we had a move up, but yeah, just fell apart, took me out on it, and stupidly let that thing go, and it just kind of was a slow melt lower and took me out for a full loss. So a little bit sad about that. I got into that trade again about, I don't know, a half hour later or something like that, and kept a pretty tight stop. In fact, that was, I think, during my morning trade plan video. Entered that one, did get stopped out. We kind of wicked through, and we finally pushed. I added this level after the trade plan video, because if you look at this area right here, and you were getting some reactions right through here, and that was really what was I think part of the reason why this was doing this morning. So anyway, for what that's worth. Trade number 3 was this long right here. I was looking for this to break and retest above. Here we have the 6,004, the 6,006s, and the low of day from yesterday all converging at this spot, and I really felt like that was going to break out and go. Now, obviously, we had a big sell-off in the overnight, I think, with the Iran news that we have going on, but that was really the problem, or where the market was at. And I really felt like if this could break above, it would go. And I might have been a little bit aggressive, but still, this was a good entry. It was just a trade that didn't work. That's all there is to it. That was the way today kind of went. I'll show you the entry on that trade here in a second. That was this one right here. Break and retest of yesterday's low of day. That was what it looked like. I mean, we had the move up, we had a bit of a pullback, we were starting to get some green candles forming, some wicks holding, and I just felt like that was going to push higher. It was worth a shot. I did get to almost to my first profit target, did not quite get it, and pulled back, and I stopped out for a $45 loss. I'm okay with the stop out. I'm okay with the trade, actually. In fact, I'm okay with this trade. This one here, probably a little bit too aggressive, and I should have just had a tight stop. So it is what it is. And then I took a short on this breakdown below, and that didn't play. I killed that trade. Matter of fact, let's go through TradeZilla. That's probably going to be the simplest way to do this. That was the third trade or fourth trade. So this setup looked decent. It was a little bit aggressive. Breakdown of break and retest of 59.90. Could not get the breakdown. Killed the trade on the candle spike up. If I'd have left it, I would have had a little bit of profit on this trade. So this candle spiking up, and I just killed it, and it ended up, being just a doji, and we did end up breaking down. I would have only gotten to like my first profit target and barely to the second, but that may have been enough of a move where I could have killed it, and maybe I would have killed it to get out of there with at least a decent profit instead of having a $75 loss. So maybe a bit of mismanagement on my part there, but it was a tough day, and price action today, in my opinion, price action today sucked. I really didn't like the price action at all. Very difficult to read, very choppy, very wicky, and it was just difficult. It was very, very difficult. And then the last trade was, where are we at here? Last trade was, I'm not happy about this one. I was trading out of a bit of frustration. Break and retest of 21,640 on the NASDAQ. A little too aggressive on the entry. I mean, it looked good. If you look at this, you have the breakdown below. You've got a wick holding, and we're breaking below. It looked great. But I entered at the absolute low, just absolute short of the bottom, which is something you don't want to do. I just got caught. I was frustrated with myself when the trade started losing, and I just allowed it to run to my stop loss. So once it started losing, I just let it go instead of just killing it and getting out of the trade. So, I probably cost myself about $50 on this trade by just, letting it run. And at that point, I was pretty frustrated, and I was done for the day on the funded account. So, in fact, let's look at that trade. That was here on the NASDAQ right here. You can see that right at the bottom, and this thing reversed. So it was just it was the story of the day. I know I like this below VWAP. I like shorting below VWAP. We were breaking below this level, and it just reversed. And that ended up being the low of the day pretty much. I mean, we've broken that here in the late afternoon session, but I mean, that's pretty much it. So pretty quick day, done by 10:30, out on the funded accounts. And then to add insult to injury, I went and traded the rest of my evals, and I ended up blowing every one of them. Blew all of these 16 evals that I was continuing to trade, or copy trading for the last whatever month or so it is. Not month, but the last couple of weeks. Yeah, right here was the carnage. I went short looking for this to break down, and when this thing started to rip again, I was frustrated and I just let it go. I was like, you know what? It's either going to reverse or I'm going to get stopped out. I got liquidated somewhere right here, and we did this little chop, and then in the afternoon this thing reversed back down. So it is what it is. I mean, yeah, it was just one of those days. Now, here's the crazy part. The crazy part is I then decided to buy, since Apex has this 80% off sale, I decided to buy one eval. I bought one eval, and I was going to revenge trade it. I literally was going to I'm going to trade it, and if I blow it, I really don't care. And you know what? I passed it in 12 trades on this move down. 10 winning trades and 2 losing trades for an 83% win rate. Just go figure. I took the first 2 trades on minis, just trading my system. I shorted this little pop of this breakdown below this low of day. I shorted that for about 1,500. And then I took a short on, and this thing's frozen up on me. I took a short on NQ, or on ES as well. I took a short somewhere on ES up here. I don't know if you can see that in that small screen. With minis for another probably about $1,000, and then I had the account up to 2,500. That one was the NQ short was here. The ES short with minis was, you know what? I took this long. I took this long right here. That was it. I took a long off the low of day. Caught that little bounce up for about $1,000, and I was up 2,500. And then on this drop down, I was just in and out with micros and kind of just slowly scaling my way up to get it to pass the account. So go figure. Whoop-de-doo. It is, yeah, I like to have another account passed, but I would much rather have not blown these other accounts. And I lost these other evals right here, literally right there. And then this thing, it chops around, and ultimately falls apart, So I mean, I'd sized up. I was sizing up, you know, it's in with like 6 contracts, 6 or 8 contracts, I forget. So I was in pretty heavy, which was probably too much, but anyway, we lost them. So whatever, I bought those on 90%, and we're going to wait for another 90% sale, I think, before I buy another batch of them. But, you know, maybe I'll just have to buy 1 or 2 of these 80% offers and just one at a time and try to pass them. So, you know, the good news is on Monday, I'll have 7 accounts, which I might need because this is the second time now that these bottom 2 have been down into this 300, 400 range in drawdown. So there's not much gas left in that tank. I did get them all the way back up to like, I think 1100, 1200 in drawdown. These accounts here, I'm a little bit sad. I mean, they're not blown by any stretch of the imagination, but now I've got to work them all the way back up. I think this week I think I lost about $700 per account. Well, not quite, maybe 5 to 6, close to 700, not quite 700, but had a pretty bad week. Last 2 days were just tough, just rough days. So anyway, it's a grind, it's a marathon. We understand that. So we'll just have to be back at it on Monday and, try to revive these accounts a little bit. So no evals to trade, and I really don't plan to add a whole bunch until we get a pretty big sale on Apex, or you know, maybe I'll add a take profit or a Tradeify account. I do want to get another take profit account, so maybe I'll buy a take profit account eval and see if I can get that one passed. But yeah. So I guess that's the silver lining, is a passed another account, adding a funded account. So it is what it is. We'll take that as a win, I guess, and just understand that, hey, some days are like this. Sometimes you have these days where the market just is difficult. And, you know, speaking of difficult, I mean, look at this. This for the last, since June 3rd, so basically 2 weeks, this has been an absolute trashy market. This, I mean, there's probably some of you people out there that love this kind of market. I hate it. This up, down, up, down, up, down. It's just, you can't, it's just difficult to find a good move. Very difficult to find a good move. So I want this thing to break out. I don't really care if it breaks down or if it breaks up. I really don't care, because when we get moved, like last night, if we could have gotten that move during the day where you can play and get in on levels, that's my trading style. Where if we get, you know, a break, a test of a level and a short below it, or a break and a test of a level and a long above it, that I love those trades. That's how I trade. And so I think I just have to understand that too. Over the last, you know, I've had a decent start to the month of June, but I've had a couple big red days, and it's really because this is a difficult market. It's not like I'm taking setups that are, you know, way outside of my normal range. Like, I'm not taking trades, you know, in the middle of some of this. I don't know what I just did. I must have moved a level there, but I'm not taking trades in the middle somewhere. You know, I'm waiting until we get setups at levels. That's my strategy, and I'm trading that strategy, and I'm missing. You know, look at the trades. They're at the levels. That's where I trade. And so when you have this up down chop, it's just it's difficult. So anyway, so much for the rant, if you will. But it's Friday. We're going to try to enjoy the weekend, and we'll be back at it on Monday, and hopefully put some green back on the charts. I'm going to be very careful. Actually, I'm curious if any of you follows along to the end of the video. Leave a comment below what you think. But I really had to think today, since I just bought that eval just to revenge trade it and passed it, I've really thought about taking that PA account on Monday and trading it very aggressively. Like, maybe I'll copy it with all of my other ones, but copy it at 2x. So if I'm in for, you know, if I'm out for a $200 winner on my other accounts, that one will be at 400. Likewise, if I have a $200 loss, I've got a $400 loss on that one. But I don't know, I might, since it's one that I just kind of bought on the whim, I might just be aggressive with that one, and just, if I blow it, I blow it. But being aggressive to try to, you know, make something happen and get some payouts. So anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know what you would do. Do you think am I on the right track with that train of thought, or is that stupid? So give me your 2 cents if you're following along. And again, just another thank you for those of you that use my code BCT with Take Profit Trader and Apex, both of those running nice sales right now. So if you need evals, good place to get them. And thanks for using my code, those of you that do. And if you don't, that's completely fine. I appreciate you guys as well. Thanks for following along. Thanks for watching my video updates. So have a great weekend. Until next week, take care and so long.